it really breaks my heart that a lot of people are finding themselves in that situation, and just whatever information I have to share that could help, like I'm like happy to kind of let go of trying to control everything in the way that I was before. The only real control that we have is over the present moment. So I moved out of the way because they're mowing the lawn over there, and it was making quite a lot of noise. So hopefully the sound is a little bit better here. So I wanted to. I kind of felt I wanted to make this video just because I feel like this sort of situation is becoming a potential reality for a lot more people now. And I just wanted to share like whatever small bits of information I can about my experience, like to hopefully help like even just one person out there would be great. Like I think it's maybe I think it would be handy to have all this kind of info in like one resource, and especially based in Australia too, because a lot of the content I found around a similar sort of subject was mostly more based in America. I wanted to show that it is like more possible than you might think to live this kind of lifestyle if you think it's something that might work for you, and if you really want to get away from that financial stress, and as well, like if this is just becoming a reality for you due to other circumstances and it's really not something that you want for yourself, like it really breaks my heart that a lot of people are finding themselves in that situation, and just whatever information I have to share that could help, like I'm like happy to share it. It's an upsetting situation, I think, especially when there's so many, like here in Victoria especially, there's so many vacant homes that are just like investments for people, and like so many homeless people. Like it's just so wild and like broken. It's pretty disappointing and heartbreaking, and I really feel for anybody in this situation that like doesn't want to be in this situation. Like I think for me, like I do really enjoy this lifestyle, because I think it does give me a lot more freedom. It makes me feel a lot more present and a lot more engaged with the world, my local world around me, I guess. Feel like it's kind of helped me become a little bit more spiritual, become a little bit more like confident in myself. But at the end of the day too, it's like, I don't know, like would I have chosen this if I didn't feel so much like financial pressure, and so much pressure to kind of conform to this typical kind of lifestyle that we're all sort of pushed towards? I don't know. I think there's kind of like a fine line too between like homelessness and like van life or van dwelling. It's like really the difference is kind of your like I guess the difference is what you think it is. Like if you feel comfortable with this and you enjoy that lifestyle, then maybe you don't feel like you're homeless. But I guess in a traditional sense, if you're choosing this because having a home is becoming like unrealistic financially, then that kind of is homelessness. Like I said, for me personally, I'm happy. I'm enjoying this lifestyle. I don't feel like I need more than what I have right now. I feel it's made me a lot less consumeristic. It's making me seek quick dopamine like a lot less. The more things I own, the more stressed I am now, which is kind of how I want it, really. Like, I don't want to own lots of things. I just want to own what I need kind of to be happy. And then beyond that, I don't want to have to worry about it. But that's not the reality for a lot of people, and I do really feel for anybody who's ended up in this situation. So to finish up as like a bit of a overview of everything, I've kind of tried to touch on a bunch of different topics, just like to a small degree, just to kind of give an idea that all this is more possible than you might think. So maybe we'll do some pros and cons of this sort of lifestyle, and then maybe in future, if people are interested and want to know more about something specific, then I could maybe make some videos going a bit more in depth on those specific things. So for me, well, starting with the pros, like, I feel a lot more free now. I was really feeling like I remember telling my psych that, like, I just kind of felt like the game was rigged and that I just didn't really want to play anymore. Like, it felt like no matter what I did, I couldn't get ahead. So it made me not really want to participate, and I think a lot of that led to me, like, falling off in terms of work and just getting super, super depressed. Now I feel a lot more, it's a bit of a balance, I guess. Like, I feel a lot more in control, even though I've kind of let go of trying to control everything in the way that I was before. I think the conclusion I've kind of come to is, like, the only real control that we have is over the present moment. It's kind of the things that we can, like, reach out and touch or affect with our words. Like, those are the things that we are in control of. But the further something is in the future, the less control we have over it. And if we're all kind of building towards this potential life where we're, like, financially stable and we're all good, like, that just, it might never happen for a lot of people. Unfortunately, like, I don't want to be a downer. It might, but I think it's much less certain. And I don't want to give up, like, the present moment just to try and make a better future for myself, potentially. Like, I might not be around to see it. I would rather just make the best of the moment that I have right now and see where that goes. Like, and I guess we'll see in 30 years time or whatever. Like, maybe that's the wrong decision, or maybe it's, like, the best decision I've ever made. But I'm really happy and comfortable in this decision for myself. And if it's something that you're thinking of, then, like, I'd certainly, like, encourage you, and, like, I think you need to, like, follow your heart, really. We all know what's best for us, like, deep down, if we can really try and look for it. I think we do. We always have this, like, inherent connection to what we really want, what we want to be. So really looking inwards, I think, is important to try and figure out if this is right for you, I think. So that's one pro anyway, like, the freedom that I feel like I kind of have. I can move around quite a lot. I can, I feel like I have a lot more free time, and I'm working like 30 hours a week, which I think is pretty ideal for me, really. Like, I don't really have much of an interest working more than that. Like, call me lazy or whatever, but I don't love the idea of working more than I really have to, I guess. Even though I really enjoy my job, like, it's just this other shit that I want to do. I want to enjoy myself. So, freedom in less financial stress. I spend a lot more time outside now, which has been really great. Like, and it's made me realize as well, I think, like, the amount of conveniences that we have in this day and age. Like, maybe it's a bad thing. Like, I think I'm hearing like a lot more people kind of come to that conclusion too. Sometimes too much convenience is bad. It takes away our like agency, and I was feeling like it really limits my ability to have like delayed gratification, or to do things for myself too. Because if things are just easy, then we can settle for them and not try for something better a lot of the time. That's how I was feeling about it anyway. Sometimes I think a bit of inconvenience can be good. It can make us more creative. So yeah, more time outside. I'm cheating. I'm like reading off my little cheat sheet here that I wrote for myself so I stay on track. I feel a lot more present, like way more present. Like, I don't need to think so many steps into the future anymore of what I'm doing career-wise or what I'm doing anything-wise. Like, I'm just living for each day, and I have, loose plans. I like to still try and make sure I'm not just, leaving too much to chance or anything, but it's much more kind of grounded planning, I guess, rather than vague, long-term attempts at control. And I think from being a lot more present too, it's really just inevitably like helping me figure out what I really like and enjoy, and I have like so much appreciation for my friends and the people around me. Like, I just feel like I can really just revel in that and enjoy their company a lot more. Enjoy like them as people. Like, I feel incredibly lucky for that. This experience has kind of shown me something a bit different that I wasn't expecting to get out of it. But yeah, it's been huge, being more present and being more in touch with myself. I've realized a bunch of things about myself that I want to keep working on and want to keep growing with. I'm learning kind of a lot more self-love. I think, like, be proud of myself and the decisions that I make, even if they're different from what other people are doing. Even if they're different from what everybody's doing. I feel like I've kind of learned now that, like, that I don't need to seek permission for the things that I'm doing. I can do them and figure out if they're right or wrong for me. There's a specific framework that we all are kind of taught to adhere to, and it's not, like, it just doesn't make sense really when you break it down. Like, we're all individuals and we have really individual goals and wants and needs, and one framework for everybody is just not gonna cut it. And I think, that like being present and more in touch with myself has allowed me to kind of realize those things for myself. So I feel like a lot more connected to nature. I feel a lot more connected to like the world around me as well. Like, I had this idea when I first started doing this too. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if you could just live your life like it was a video game, like it was like an RPG, I guess, like, go on adventures and do that. Just be in this big kind of sandbox world, which is kind of like, that is our world, but we don't treat it that way most of the time. Like, we go to work every day and we have our like weekends off, and we try and enjoy ourselves a little bit in that time, and then also fit in chores and things that we have to do. But like, surely there's so much more to life than that. Like, think there's a big chance that a lot of us will really regret not spending more time really just figuring out what we want to do with ourselves, who we want to be, what we want to work on, and just being playful again, like just enjoying the moment, the things around us, the people that we really care about, the things that we care about doing. I feel like since realizing that too, I felt before like I didn't really even have the capacity to take care of myself. And now I feel like I've got enough capacity to try and help other people in a similar sort of situation to where I was. I didn't feel like I had that in me before, because I was so busy just trying to like stay above water. And I think surely I'm probably not the only person who feels that way. So another one, less tasks, I guess. Like if you're stripping down your life to fit into a vehicle or whatever it kind of takes the form of for you, inevitably you've just got less stuff, which means like less to kind of upkeep. And you can even go further than that too. Like I've been really kind of pulling away from social media and things that don't serve me in a way that I want them to. And like step by step with those things, you can kind of take back control for yourself and really take back that time that's valuable and spend it in the ways that you want to spend it. I feel a lot more creative to living this lifestyle, like because there are things that come up, there are problems that come up, or little things like I'm like struggling to even really think, because like a lot of the time when they come up I just deal with them and it's fine. Like I think there's a lot of power in that, really, like realizing that if you do kind of take away a bit of that safety net that you find that you are actually a lot more capable than you think of solving problems just as they arrive. Like you don't necessarily need to need a plan for everything. I'm not advocating for for being too unsafe and reckless about this sort of thing, but like there are certain things that they'll just come up no matter how much you plan, but you'll deal with them in the moment. You'll find creative solutions for it, and then that makes you feel good about yourself too. It makes you realize that you can actually trust yourself. You don't have to be trusting other people and what they're doing. You can trust yourself, and then when you can't too, or when you need advice, like that's when you lean on your friends or your family or your partner if you have a partner, like whatever. Like there are people out there that want to help you, and I think it's like it's kind of like a privilege to help your friends, or I think it is. Like I think it's nice when your friends lean on you for advice or for a little bit of help. It's like it's cool. Like that's we should do that more, really. We're becoming quite individualistic, and that's quite dangerous, I think. So the roundabout way of kind of talking about creativity, but all of these are kind of going on a bit of a tangent. I feel I have a stronger sense of self since doing this, and a lot more inner peace too. There's just like it took a little while for me, maybe like a month, and then just suddenly I was like, I guess when it started to become the new norm for me, because inevitably there's going to be like a transitional period, but when it became the new norm for me, I just kind of started feeling at peace, really, just calm, like more in control than I've ever been, by just letting go of control, essentially, like just controlling the things that are closest to me, not worrying about the rest. It's I can't even accurately describe it. It's very nice though. I don't think I've felt this kind of like inner peace maybe ever, really. Like so yeah, big fan of that. It's important as well to talk about the cons as well of this kind of lifestyle. It can definitely be like uncomfortable at times. Like, it is nice having a stable space that you can always come back to, that's your home, that's big and wide, and it's enough room to kind of stand up in and move around in, and like, you know, it's obviously there's a lot of good things about having that, and it is uncomfortable kind of transitioning into something different. Yeah, like especially the bathrooms, like not always having access to a bathroom that's like right next to you too, like having to drive somewhere or walk somewhere or whatever, like it can be quite uncomfortable. I don't really mind it so much, but I think, yeah, that would be probably a big thing for a lot of people, something definitely really to consider. If you're going to be okay with that sort of thing, you can always try out this sort of lifestyle as well, I guess, if you're in the position to, maybe trying it out for like a week or something like that. If you have the means, could be a good way to try and really figure out if this is something that's going to work for you. I guess, like, I do tend to kind of think that less convenience sometimes it's also just a good thing. Like, I think it kind of has a way of bringing you into the present, because like when you do actively have to think about those things rather than just like have them given to you and have them as just like a norm, it makes you think in a different way and think presently. It's like, okay, well, what am I going to do to solve that? Where will I go? Or like, how will I plan my route around that? Yeah, I think it's a con, but it's not a huge con. Relationships, probably, like, that one's really one to kind of think about. I tend to think that like the right people will still love you no matter what you do. Like, I think however you choose to live, like, you want the people closest to you to appreciate you for who you are, and I think it will deepen your connections to people a lot more, really, if you're doing something alternative and then they still accept you, whether they understand it or not, whether they're into it or not. Like, if they still accept you and respect you, then that's a good relationship to have, I think. Like, I think it probably will be hard. Like, I haven't really tried dating or anything, and since moving into the van, I kind of like had a look on the apps a little bit, and I do like I kind of put it on there too, because it's not something that I'm hiding, and like I guess it's going to come up at some point, so I'd kind of rather put it up there as like a bit of a filter for people too. And it does seem to kind of impact those things. I've heard other people say that too, that like might make it harder to have a relationship or that, like, I guess a romantic relationship, if that's what you're looking for. It's not high on my priorities, so it's not something that bothers me that much, but like I think it's a consideration, especially, yeah, sex as well. Like, you might have less sex, like if that means a lot to you, but yeah, definitely does not mean you won't have any, I can say, but probably less. It's like, you know, I guess that's up to you whether that bothers you too much. But yeah, it is a con, I guess, to this sort of lifestyle. Like, the next one, I guess, like, is shame, and I've been thinking about shame a lot. I think I didn't really realize how much shame I had about so many aspects of my life, which is like, it's sad. It is upsetting, and I'm working on that now. I'm still working on it. I think there can be a lot of shame potentially in this lifestyle, and a lot of people wanting to keep it separate, or keep it hidden. I would probably always encourage you to just, I'm trying to, because I don't think I'm necessarily the best example of this yet. Like I said, I'm working on this. It's something that I really value now, and I want to keep working towards it. But I think I do really believe internally, like, the more genuine you are, the more what's the word, like, the more authentic, I guess, that you are as a person, the more you'll attract that and those kinds of deeper connections from the people around you too, even people that you haven't met yet. And it will probably inevitably, it'll push other people away too that are not quite on that same level, or journey, I guess. Though, yeah, maybe as people see more of who you are, they will understand you less, and your connection might kind of start to fade away. But your connection with people that you really have a lot more in common with, it's more likely to get a lot stronger, I think. Like, that's what I've experienced. And I'm hoping to keep experiencing it as well, as I continue to try and be more and more myself and put myself more out there. So I think, again, it's another one of, it is a hard thing to deal with going into this lifestyle, but I think dealing with it is going to be a positive overall. So yeah, just to quickly close out, I guess I've covered a lot, I think. I've been talking for a long time and my phone's nearly dead, but I just wanted to say, as an overview, well, thanks for listening as well. And I hope that maybe you could have got something out of it, even just something small. I'm a big believer in making your own choices, even if people around you won't understand. I'm seeing more and more as I keep doing that myself. I'm getting happier and happier and more comfortable, and I feel like everything is opening up so much more. I'm in a completely different spot now from where I was 6 months ago, when I was super, super depressed and just felt completely hopeless. This whole experience for me has shown me there is a lot out there. There's a lot of different ways to live. There's a lot of different ways to be, and there is no wrong or right. If you're not imposing on someone else's freedom, then do what's going to be best for you, and don't let other people's opinions dictate what that is for you. I think that's really important. So yeah, I'd encourage that. I'd encourage you to do that in whatever form it takes for you. And lastly, if there is something in particular that you want to know about this lifestyle, or about whatever really, then yeah, leave a comment, and maybe I'll make some videos about that too. I'm trying to be a real open book, and just whatever I can share, I'm happy to share. It's it is a bit scary kind of putting myself out there, and being quite personal, but I feel that if it can help anyone, if there's a chance that it can help anyone, then I feel like I should do it. I think it's worth doing, right? So many people, brave people sharing their stories, have influenced me in a positive way and made me feel more like I could make this kind of jump for myself. So I hope that maybe I could do that for someone else too. We'll zoom while it's recording. It does. Jojo. We see you. It's really thinking about it.